Hey everyone, welcome to Smash Trivia. I'm your host, Smash Trivia John. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram by searching Smash Trivia to follow everything happening with me. I'll be the one with the big old green head in the profile picture. I'm so excited to get into this. This is the Gamma Analysis. Basically, in this series, I'm going to review everything Hulk, all the movies and TV shows. Hope you enjoy. Smash Trivia presents the Gamma Analysis. I want to ask everyone listening, I think please do sign for me. Please share the hell out of this podcast with all your friends. For this episode, I'm reviewing a movie about how zombies becoming horny makes them change. Just kidding. They experience love and causing them to change. The movie is Warm Bodies. And Smash Trivia has a Patreon, so please check that out. We have some fantastic extra content on there I bet you'll love. The tiers are as follows: $1 a month is Hulka Holla for $1. $3 a month is the reading room with Hulkie and Shulkie, and $5 a month is smashing the TV. And I also offer custom trivia games, themed trivia games on Fiverr. So if you want to take your game night to the next level, you can hire me. The link to Fiverr is in the episode description. I'm joined today by Clayton from the Men Who Like Movies pod. How are you doing, Clayton?
I am doing awesome and so excited to talk about this movie.
All right, I'm really excited to be able to talk about it too. And thank you for coming on. All
Oh,
right,
anytime.
and our Hulka Holla for $1, we have Derek Sager, Gabriel Floral, Film Critter, and Stephen W. Oh, and then in the Gamma Analysis is a part of the Blind Knowledge Podcast Network. All right, so let's get into talking about this movie. This week was the first time I'd ever watched this movie, and I really enjoyed it.
Oh, this was your first time?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it. I saw this in theaters actually on a date with my old RA from college. Was
Wow.
not my RA at the time. Um, but yeah, I saw this, I think the day it came out. It came out on like Valentine's weekend or something. And yeah, it was so cute.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a really long time, but I have fond memories of it. And so I was like, yeah, I want to talk about that because I had it and I quite enjoyed rewatching it for this too.
Oh, yeah. I really did not know much about this movie. All I basically knew is that it was a love movie that had to do with a zombie. I didn't actually expect it to be during like this post-apocalyptic world. I was thinking it was gonna be like in a normal world, and it's just like and it's this girl trying to hide her zombie boyfriend, and in this like just present day sort of thing. Hey, I
I
was
mean, I'd
surprised
watch
by
that
it.
movie though.
Yeah, yeah, I would. I definitely would. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. As I thought it was absolutely hilarious, and really well done. The ending of the film made me really want there to be a sequel that's about like um zombies and humans coexisting in a city together.
Right.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind that sequel as well.
yeah. Like I was thinking about it, I was like I think what would be really fun is like instead of like you can take out the horror elements and the action elements, just make it really be a romantic comedy and the with a zombie as the zombie and a human and I was thinking like the climax of the sequel could be a wedding between the zombie and the human, and it would be and you would have have um what's his name? John Malkovich's his character. Even though he doesn't want to kill the zombie anymore, he still like doesn't like the idea of his daughter marrying a zombie, and they can make it be a like they can make it be like a
Commentary on racism.
commentary on like the on how sadly a lot of boomers are like, oh, there shouldn't be mixed marriages.
Right.
I think that would be a, a pretty fun way to make a sequel to this.
It would. And Teresa Palmer still looks great. This Holt still looks, I mean, he hasn't aged a day, so let's do it. I mean,
Uh,
I'd watch.
uh, um, I've only seen a Nicholas Holt in a few things, but like everything I've seen him in, I really enjoy his acting. Acting. I watched him in the X-Men movies, and then last year I saw him in The Menu, and then now I'm watching this, and He's such he's a great actor that does that has very good range.
He's wonderful. I first saw him in this British show that he got really big in called Skins, which was the only way I could really think of describing it would be like Euphoria, but British and more realistic. It was just this
Okay.
really edgy show about teens, and he was on it. A lot of them have gone on to do great things, and so I had seen him in that, and he was pretty big. And then he did the X-Men movies, and then this. Um, I will say I will recommend The Great, which is a show on Hulu about Catherine the Great in Russia,
Okay.
and it is a really funny comedy. And he plays the czar or whoever that gets overthrown by
Okay.
Catherine the Great, who is played by Elle Fanning, and it is so funny. And he is a lot like his character in the menu in it. Um, it's hysterical. I would highly recommend it,
Interesting.
and I'm really glad
I'll
you
definitely have
watched
to
the
check that.
menu. He's fun.
Yeah, the menu is like it's a film that's really hard to like actually describe because it's a very weird film, but it's a really great film.
Oh, it's so satisfying.
Oh yeah. So what are they? How did I talk about? I wanted to see what you think of. I have a theory for a theory about one of the characters in the movie. Um, M or R's best friend and the bald guy that's a zombie.
Uh,
I'm thinking before he was a zombie. I think he might have been the teacher that we saw in the flashback um from the girl's memories, a girl and her ex's memories.
oh man, I didn't even notice that.
Well, so we don't actually see the front of the teacher. We just see the his back, and his body shape looks very similar to that character, and he's bald with all except for a little bit of hair in the back.
Mm.
And I'm thinking that actually kind of would make a little sense of like I maybe what caused him to start changing, and thus everybody, all the rest of them also changing, is not just his friendship with R, but also that also um he was able to recognize maybe the girl, and that and um the the mix of both being friends with R and recognizing the girl as someone that as a teacher you care for your students, so that I'm thinking the mix of those things was enough that started changing him.
The only thing that would make me, I love that headcanon, by the way, but the only thing that would make me disagree with that is I don't think Julie would have not recognized one of her teachers.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I mean,
um
even if it had been a few years,
mhm.
I think you would recognize your teacher if they were like slamming into zombies with a golf cart and being like, hey, get
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. um yeah, the I was surprised when I watched this for the first time and this week. I didn't know that John Malkovich was in it, and that
Oh, I had forgotten John Malkovich was in it. So I was like, whoa.
which I love John Malkovich as an actor, so I was really glad when he appeared. And then also I can't remember Dave Franco is also in it. I didn't know he
I
was in it
forgot he
too.
was in it as well.
Yeah. Um I think I really enjoyed literally every actor in its performances. I think that everyone did absolutely great. I do think it's
They all knew
funny. Oh, you're gonna say?
they all the actors knew exactly what movie they were in and committed
Yeah,
and made it such a joy to watch. Yeah,
yeah.
I
The
really there's nobody I'd be like,
particularly
man,
like
they
the
should have gone a little bit
zombie
harder.
actors, or it's like
Hmm.
I think it would be so fun to be like to get an extra role in a film, and they're like, we want you to act like a zombie, but particularly this exact kind of zombie. That would be a really interesting.
I do love the zombies in this, but
Oh
being an
yeah.
extra as a zombie, I think would actually suck. all the prosthetics and nasty shit they put
possibly.
on you, and you get paid like nothing, and
Uh,
it's probably 13-hour days where you're just like sitting around. But uh, it, but then again, you get to be a zombie in a zombie movie, so
yeah. I,
worth it.
it was really hilarious when they when Julie is trying to fake being a zombie because R told her to, and then he has to tell her that's too much. You're doing it too
I know that
much.
is one of the funniest scenes in the movie. I think
Uh,
just
I,
like got her arms way out and just
one thing that I thought was a little weird was the um so we know that they have modern technology in this the humans have, since one of the people is able was playing a game on a smartphone, but they still have a very blurry a footage for the for when they first showed the John Malkovich in it's at the beginning of the film in on that projector thing or
Mhm.
screen. It was like I like, could you guys not have more HD looking footage for the footage? Like I don't
Oh,
know.
who
I feel
knows?
like
I spent half of my second watch trying to figure out how long has it been into the zombie
yeah.
apocalypse because sometimes it hadn't been a long time, and other times like was this when they were like
Mm-hmm.
kids and it was 15, 20 years ago? Was it within the past like 10 years? I don't know.
I'm thinking probably within the past like 10 years or so. I feel like they'd be further progressed than this at that if it were more than that. But also one thing I was wondering is like, um, is this zombie apocalypse only affecting this one city? Because if it isn't, then oh, is there just this one after this is there just this one city in the world that is no longer having the threat of zombies or zombies?
Yeah, it's just the night. It's the utopia. Usually zombie apocalypses are pretty global
Yeah,
as a standard. Uh, um, I don't think this film was very concerned with that, but maybe
yeah.
also it just spread throughout
Mhm.
the world, maybe through the
Yeah.
power of love, and they solved the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I thought was really cool is how when the zombies eat brains, they get the memories of these of the people that they killed, because yes, that reminds me of a TV show called I Zombie. Have you ever seen that show?
I have not. I'm very aware of it, but I've never
Yeah.
actually made time to watch it.
But basically, in that, the zombies work are exactly the same as how they do in this, and where they gain the memories, and within the show, the main character uses those memories to solve the murders of these people that April, as she works in a what's it called she works with the police to solve the murders and the police don't know that she's
You
a
know,
zombie.
classic zombie job.
Yeah. I thought that I really liked that little bit of a connection there.
Mm, man, I should watch that zombie. I always heard it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a really funny show.
I love the look of the zombies in this. That zombie makeup
Yeah.
on Nicholas Hoult is fantastic.
Oh yeah. Uh, I love that. I love the moment of the film where they're like, "Oh, we're going to put makeup on you," and he's like, "No." And they're just like, "Oh
That makeup
yeah,
scene is
we are."
wonderful though.
Oh man, it's great. Um, I thought it was I really enjoyed the scene where they're at the house together. And it was so funny to be on like Julie told him don't watch, and he's just like, no, I'm not listening to you. I'm just gonna be like, look, what is going on? I'm a zombie and I'm seeing a girl changing. What? How is this happening?
He is having an existential crisis this entire movie, and I love it.
That scene is mainly where I came up with the joke of it being him being horny, and that's what's made him change.
I mean, he is horny.
Yeah.
I mean, you could call it love, but I mean, yeah, he's totally zombie.
Oh man, but and then also another scene that I really love is I think this film had a really great f bomb for the PG-13 rating.
If you didn't bring that up, I was going to.
Yeah, yeah, he's like, you want to help me with help me change the world or whatever it was, and his friend is just like, fuck yeah. It was so good.
I love when PG-13 movies make very good use of their one allowed F-bomb.
Yeah, it's so good. Oh man, that's what
We just covered My Best Friend's Wedding a couple of episodes ago,
okay.
and that is one of the very few movies. They're allowed one F-bomb at a
Hmm.
PG-13,
Yeah,
but if it's used in a sexual manner, it's pretty much an automatic R. So you
yeah.
can be like, fuck this, but if
There's
you were like, fuck me, they wouldn't be able to do it. And in that movie, Julia Roberts is like, oh, he came here to fuck me. And they appealed it and got a PG-13 rating. So it is one of the very few PG-13s that has an F-bomb in a sexual context. And I was like, that's
interesting.
cool.
The, the rating system is always so interesting to me because like like the rules seemed so weird to me. Like they're like famously Titanic has a full frontal nude scene in it. It's they from what I've heard, James Cameron was able to do that because he told them it wasn't in a sexual manner. I'm like, how is that not sexual at
It's
all?
not full frontal. You just see titties.
I
And
thought, okay, I must be,
and he got
must
away
be
with it
wrong.
because it was in an artistic concept
Ah.
context.
And there's also like a film from a few years ago called Night School that I watched a Kevin Hart film and it's PG-13, but there's like three or four f bombs in it. I'm like, what? How did that happen? How did they get? How are they able to do that at PG-13 film?
Who knows?
Yeah,
The MPA is so arbitrary. It's
yeah.
stupid. It
It's
needs to be
I
redone or just done away
oh
with.
yeah, yeah.
Just
I find
uh,
that all just so interesting to me of how all that works. Or how do they make these decisions? Because they just seem so dumb.
and it's absolutely bizarre, which is why I love that Terrifier just skipped the rating system, went to theaters because there is no way that
Oh
movie could have ever been cut down to an R rating.
yeah. Oh man, I haven't seen that, but I actually really want to because I've heard it. I've heard so much about it. Interesting stuff about it.
It is wonderful if you're not squeamish.
Yeah. Oh man, and I also really want to watch. Once it finally it comes out for home video, the same people that made that at also made a Grinch parody horror film and with the same person who played I think Art the Clown out in Terrifier are being the person who plays as the Grinch in it.
Oh, that makes me want to watch that movie so much more now.
Like I want to watch it. The film was originally supposed to come out for free online. And then they got a deal with Regal to be able to show it in Regal theaters, and they've been showing it for like the past few months. But it's also never at the Regal that is near me. I'm like,
I hate
oh
it
my
when that
god,
happens.
this pisses me off. I'm like, it's already February and it's still not it still hasn't come to home video now. Like what's the point now? I feel like you should have planned it to at least come about at home video around Christmas.
I mean, if people are going to the theater to see it, I
Yeah, I
get their
guess.
point. But I am surprised it's not on VOD or anything.
Yeah. Um. uh, I'm trying to think. What else do I want to talk about for this film? Um. I really enjoyed his how R has is this music buff off with off and he's like insisting on playing some on records because it sounds better.
Yeah, I love that he's a record snob.
Yeah.
Music's such a big part of this movie, and it's done used so well. I
Oh
really
yeah.
like their usage of it.
I love that about some like a lot of films. I think they don't use music nearly as well as they could. And it's saddening. Like another thing that I think that music can be used for in a way that can actually like help characters or is like really build out their personality is to give someone on their phone a song as their ringtone instead of just one of the generic ones that you don't have to buy rights for.
Right.
I think
I
that
will
really
say,
helps the character.
music rights are one of the most expensive things that
Yeah,
goes
I
into a
understand
film's
that.
budget, which I find insane.
Yeah, it's just it's like it just saddens me a little when you when I watch a film and I'm just like I hear the generic like music and they're like you could have used this in a way to make us know the character and their tastes more.
Yeah. Some movies really know how important it is and how to use it, and a lot of them don't. It's sad, but it makes when you see the ones that do
Oh yeah,
pop so much better. What
yeah,
did you think
definitely.
of R's constant voiceover?
I loved that. That was so fun. I especially like moments where it's like, I say something human, say something human, and how are you?
Usually, if there's something has that much voiceover, it either has to really work or it's just
Mm-hmm.
annoying. And his line delivery and everything, and because of the fact he can't really speak and is just having all these thoughts, and again, like basically an existential crisis.
Oh
It
yeah.
is just so funny. Everything, just hearing his stream of consciousness as he's just like going around with his amazing physical performance as well. He's just the way he moves is
Oh yeah.
hilarious. And I just I don't know if I've ever seen a movie with that much voiceover that I just loved all the
Oh yeah.
time. But it
I
just it
think.
makes sense because like he's a zombie, you can't just talk or you can't show things. So let's just hear what they're thinking the whole.
Mhm. Uh, Another thing I love is all of the scenes of them driving the car are that was so it was so fun like both when he's driving and he's like doing it terribly and when Julie's driving and you can see how freaked out he is by how fast they're
Mhm.
going.
I wonder how long it had been for her since she'd driven a car.
Yeah. Oh I think and another like really funny thing to me I think was is the face that John Malkovich gives at the end of the film when he sees that that R is bleeding. He's just like, what? What in the what? No, huh? Like, and he's able to do it with just one expression. And it's just so such total confusion. I love it.
I mean, he's a pro.
Oh man. I don't think I've seen a single film with John Malkovich in that I didn't like his performance.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic always. I don't always love the films that he's in, but he is
Yeah,
never the reason why.
yeah. One film that he's in that I've never seen before, but I really want to watch. Have you ever seen Being John Malkovich?
I have seen that so many times. It is amazing. You need to watch that
It,
immediately.
I've like heard stuff about it. It sounds like a really ridiculous film, but it makes and the fact that it sounds so ridiculous is what makes me want to watch it so much.
It is wonderful. It is so trippy and funny and just kind of dark too. Man, I
Oh,
want to watch that. I don't have it though, I think. Maybe I should spend
oh
money. No, I'll wait for it to be on sale. I will. Be strong, Clayton. It is fantastic though. It's wonderful. Cameron Diaz gives an amazing performance in it. I mean, she is unrecognizable. She's like frumpy with big curly brown hair and not all, I mean, she always looks glamorous and everything. Like it, the first time I saw it, I had seen her character for probably 20 minutes and I was just like, wait, is that Cameron Diaz?
I love it when they are able to make a change in actors look just slightly with like different like hair, and then it takes a while for someone to realize as it's them. I love that when
Oh, I
movies
mean,
like
if
that
you see
happen.
it, it is ridiculous. Uh, I will send you just a picture of her after we finish recording
Okay.
of her in that movie and be like, dude, I wasn't kidding.
Oh man. Trying to think what else to actually talk about this film. One thing that I found interesting when I was looking up stuff about the film, this actually provides more like or for the possibility that there could be a sequel or another film on this franchise. I is that this is actually based on a book, and there's both a sequel to the book and a prequel to the book.
I knew it was based on a book, but I did not know there was a prequel and a sequel. I also, while I was watching it, I was like, man, if they did this again, because I think the story almost feels rushed, like
Uh,
from him being a zombie that's kind of thinking about things to being like, I'm a real boy. It's like a 90-minute movie that's a very
yeah.
quick amount of time to go through this huge change. I was like, man, if this was a mini series or something,
Oh,
they could
that
have
would be
really
so good.
I will say I it is not this movie's fault. It came out in
Mhm.
2013, but watching this right after, 3 episodes of The Last of Us, I was just like, "Hmm, this could have been a lot more impressive." Even
I
so, I think the writing is super sharp. The dialogue of
oh
this movie
yeah.
is amazing. The director and writer of it, his name, because I should have written it down, but I was having a day.
Mhm.
Um, I just his dialogue is so sharp. I mean, there's so many great jokes in it,
Yeah,
and it's like really kind of dry humor that the actors are just able to nail. I think it's filmed so beautifully.
uh,
There's
another character I really enjoy in the film is Julie's friend, and I can't remember what her name is, but
it's actually, hold on one second. One second.
uh,
They are non-binary. They were
I
not
think
out at the time of the film. They are non-binary, and their name is Leo Tipton, credited
uh,
in the movie as Annalie Tipton,
yeah,
but they're non-binary, and Leo Tipton is her friend.
yeah, I thought that character was absolutely hilarious. As like
Hysterical, so funny. Their
it
expressions and just
was so good. Like I how she was like, "Oh, your zombie boyfriend."
yeah, you miss him.
So
Like
good.
you like him. You want to be your boyfriend, your zombie boyfriend.
I wish we still had internet so I could look up what's wrong with you. Oh, it's so good. I don't know if I've ever seen a Leo Tipton in anything else, but I want to try look into the rest of their films and try and watch some of their other stuff because I bet they probably have some more hilarious comedies of.
My co-host has seen them in some things because I was like, they look really familiar, but I don't know what I would have seen them in. And so he was looking them up or just telling me because he remembers stuff and has seen things that I haven't. And I don't even remember what things he rattled off, but I had not seen any of them. I was just like, well, guess they just got one of those faces then, or maybe I saw them in trailers. Oh,
Oh yeah. Oh, I love the scene where the scene where one of the zombies actually saves one of the soldiers, and then offers up his hand and to pull up the soldier.
I
That
know that
was a
cute.
great. That was a really cute scene. Oh, and then I just like, who should we shoot? Zombies or skeletons? And R's friend as just throws the skeleton over. It's like him.
What did this story remind you of more? Beauty and the Beast or Romeo and Juliet?
Uh, um, I don't know. I haven't seen either of those in a while, so I don't really remember like their stories that much. But I don't think it reminds me a lot of the of Beauty and the Beast, the Ace. So I guess Romeo and
It's very
Juliet.
clearly like, I mean, a lot of it is with Romeo and Juliet, like,
Mm-hmm.
they're from different families, but in this, zombies and humans, and his name's R, her name's Julie. They've got that scene where she's talking up on the balcony and he's down there, like the balcony scene.
Yeah,
Um, it ends much more happily, but
yeah,
a lot of the time during it reminding me of Beauty and the Beast, where he's like, keeping her kind of captive, and then she tries to get away, and he like goes and fights them off, like when Belle tries to escape and the Beast fights off the wolves. And it was just like, this just feels
yeah.
familiar in a nice, comfy way.
Oh, near the end of the film, it's so funny to me, when John Malkovich asks are you still bleeding? And he said, yes. And John Malkovich is just like, good.
Good.
Oh, it's so funny. I
That's
think
good.
this is one of the like I think might be one of my favorite romantic comedies I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, this was
I wouldn't go that far. I
honestly
think it's
hilarious to
very
me.
enjoyable, but I wouldn't put it up that
Uh,
far.
oh, it's definitely one of the most unique romantic comedies I've ever seen.
Yeah, I do like its little twists.
Yeah. Oh,
If you think about it at all, although that's still really gross.
yeah. Uh, there's a
I get it
moment.
pumping because I was like, he's dead. Could he even get it up for her? Like, but his heart was pumping. He was bleeding. So, there's a future.
I, I thought it was hilarious how when all of the zombies start changing, they show us their hearts, and they're shaped like the like Valentine's Day hearts.
Yes.
That was hilarious.
I also found some of the shots quite funny, like when he was talking about life before, and he's like, I just wish it was like before, so everybody could just enjoy each other's company and everything. But the scene he's flashing to in his head is everybody walking around and they're all just looking at their phones.
uh, I love how he's like, I can tell what people's occupation was based on what they wear. This guy was I was a janitor, obviously, and I think I was probably unemployed because I'm wearing a hoodie.
Oh, that line is so funny. I actually think I wrote that one down in my took like 3 notes, and then I was like, I'm not taking notes. I'm just gonna enjoy this.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like judging by my hoodie, I was probably unemployed.
Yeah, it's so good.
When
Oh
he was
man.
talking about the zombies as well, I thought it's so funny when he's like, I mean, I would too, on eating somebody, but at least I'd conflicted about it.
Yeah. And then Callie's like, and there's the moment where he's like, I feel like I've never been here before. That's because I've never been in this part of the airport before. Or I feel
And
lost.
just
Oh, I
like
feel lost, but that's because I've never been in this part of the airport before.
I was just thinking watching it, I was like, for Nicholas Hoult especially, this had to feel like a weird improv class. Like, okay, you're a zombie. You're trying to have a conversation. Go. When they're just him and his friend are sitting at the bar and they're just like, uh, uh, uh,
Yeah, it's so good.
just grunting at each other. I'm like, how would
Yeah,
you not just burst
I
out
love
laughing?
it. Oh man, there's such commitment to the roles that I was there because like yeah, it would be so hard for me to not burst out laughing there. And I love how they're like they can only say a few things, Ace, and among those are hungry and city.
Yes. I will say R picks up language very quickly.
Yeah, yeah, he does. He really does. Yeah. One thing I was wondering about that. So, since you have the we see the one car that they use throughout the film, and then after that car runs out of gas, as then Julie starts walking back to the city. Like, so why is there only one car in existence that still has gas? Why I feel, or she just not care to check the rest of the cars.
I think that one was just maybe at the airport and people hadn't been out there because it was overrun with zombies. And also the odds of finding a car with Ian, I mean, probably could have hotwired at that point, but and also maybe a lot of cars had their battery dead because it's been
That makes sense.
years.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
makes
know.
sense.
There's a lot of reasons I feel like I didn't think about it too hard because it's not that type of movie.
Yeah, yeah, I'm probably just nitpicking a lot, but I like finding little details like that, but that I just that I usually beat myself up later and be like, this is not a film you need to be caring about that kind of shit about. This doesn't matter.
It's not like a Tarantino movie where you're like, what does this scene mean? What are they saying? What's it referencing?
Oh man. Oh, I love the scene where he starts dreaming for the first time, and he's like, and oh, Dave Franco's character is just like, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be able to dream. That's for us humans.
I do love when Teresa Palmer, Julie, it's just like, hey, he can dream if he wants
Yeah,
to.
he can dream if he wants to. He can do whatever he wants.
Also,
Oh,
they both have the bluest eyes ever.
yeah. It I love how like we actually got to see his eyes turn back to normal at the end of the film. I
Mm.
thought that was real. That was a neat little detail. Which is honestly surprising that I like that because I usually hate anything that has to do with eyes. They just creep me out.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Don't watch Kill Bill Volume 2.
Oh man, but trying to think what else to talk about with the film. It's not really a film that where there's a massive amount to talk about.
No, it's not a dig deep type of film. It's just it's enjoyable. It's
Yeah.
fluffy.
Oh yeah.
It's a nice.
It. I think this was a great film though for me to start my love-filled month of February on a podcast. I'm starting out the month with this, and then um the next episode after this, which will be coming out on Valentine's Day, is going to be a Shrek review.
Oh, that's
And
a
I'll
good
be
one.
then I'll be doing a review of the um Valentine's Day special of the Harley Quinn animated series, which is coming out I think next week.
I'm so excited.
Um, yeah, and then I also on my Patreon I have a whole bunch of Valentine's Day stuff there planned too. Like, I am going to do reactions to three different and ridiculous Valentine's Day or love themed movies. Is one being about out love with a dinosaur, one being about love with an alien, and then one is about lesbian and vampire lovers from the 70s.
I know what all of those movies are, and that is wonderful. And that first one you mentioned, if you haven't seen it, you're in for a
Oh
treat.
man. I'm so excited. I also on my Patreon I do I do I do trivia and questions where my co-host Keith will come on and ask me trivia questions. He's going to do some either like love themed or Valentine's Day themed ones, and then also I have do a smash or pass thing every a month, where he will choose a bunch of smash or passes for me to do, and I asked him to do for February that I have to decide on couples. So couples. So I either have to smash two people or pass on both, which is gonna be interesting.
That sounds like a fun game.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so excited to be able to fill up February with so much love theme stuff for the podcast. Oh, it's gonna be so fun.
You're gonna be so sick of it by the end.
Probably. Oh man, yeah. But yeah, this again was such a perfect a film to start this out, and I'm so glad that you chose to come on with me for it.
Oh yeah, this is a great romantic comedy. It's a nice kind of original concept.
Yeah,
It's a nice little, even a kind of a gateway horror movie. It's got some decent
yeah,
gore, and it is about zombies. So technically, I
hmm
think that just makes it horror. It's
yeah.
not too scary. It, it, it's really cute. It's would it win any Oscars? No.
No,
Um, but there are a lot more things you could throw on a Sunday afternoon.
yeah,
And I
oh,
really enjoyed revisiting it. It was a nice it was like eating somebody's brains. I got back to it, seeing it on a date. That was quite lovely. And revisiting this was really nice. So I'm glad I saw you were doing it.
yeah. Oh, it would have been been really annoying if I had not gotten any responses to that post about people wanting to join me for this.
I was like, I'm way over. I've got way too much to do. I shouldn't do this, but that's a cute
Yeah.
movie. I need an excuse to rewatch it. I'll do it.
Hell yeah. Oh man. Since I don't really think there's anything else to talk about for this film, I will will soon be going to end off this episode. But first, I want to offer to you, so something that I like to do on my podcast is that I will say something that the that my guest wants me to say in an announcer voice, like something funny. I of which you would just like write in the chat function on Zoom for me to and then I will say it in an announcer voice.
Hmm. Damn it.
I'm waiting for you. Oh, you got Cyan in there? All right.
Yep.
All right. All right. So what you want me to say is bitches, man. I love it.
Great.
It's so good. Oh man. Try to see if there's anything else I should talk about. So I'm going on to the IMDb trivia section and for this movie. See if there's anything on there that's interesting.
Not really. I read that
Um,
earlier and there's nothing too revelatory in it.
oh man, some films have some really cool stuff in there, but then some
Yes.
films have like nothing good in them. Oh, apparently I looked in the connections section. Apparently, another I think it's a zombie movie that that came out a year after this. Um, Cooties is starring the actor who played Frodo in Lord of the Rings. Makes a reference to this film, which
Hey,
is interesting. Which that's actually another film that I really want to watch sometime. I because it looks really funny. Have you ever heard
I
of Cooties?
I have not seen that one. There's two Cooties movies. I have seen the one with Lupo, that is about zombies. That was a Hulu production, I think. But I have not seen the one with Elijah Wood.
Yeah, this one it stars Elijah Wood, but also apparently has Rainn Wilson and who played Dwight in The Office in it, which is cool.
Elijah Wood makes really interesting acting
Oh
choices.
yeah,
So,
I
uh,
honestly like outside of Lord of the Rings, one of my favorite things that Elijah Wood has ever done is a show on FX named Wilfred. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes, I have not watched Wilfred, but it looked really funny.
It is
I
hilarious.
it looks so funny though. I think I was gonna start it. And I don't know why I never did. I think I was just being
Yeah.
stubborn because one of my friends was trying to make me watch it, and I was just like, "Don't watch comedies," and they were just like pushing me so hard. So I was just like, "I'm gonna be stubborn and just not watch it." Punishing only
Oh
myself.
man. It is a show that if you want to watch it, you have to like let it like watch through at least the full first episode before you make a decision on you want to continue watching. Because if like you like decide after like I could easily see someone after the first like 10 minutes or so of the first episode being like, I don't want to continue watching this. But after that, it gets a lot more, a lot better. Because in the first like 10 minutes of the show, um, which is this is kind of a spoiler, but it's also the start of the series, so I don't think it's really that big of a deal.
And
Um,
it's however old, so I feel like spoilers are
it,
justifiable.
basically the how the show starts before Wilfred the giant dog that's actually just a human in a dog suit, which shows up. The main character played by Elijah Wood, he's about to out to commit suicide,
Nice.
and if I remember right, Wilfred showing up is actually what causes him to not do that, because he's
Oh,
trying to figure out why there is a giant a dog or human in a dog costume in his house.
that would be a little disconcerting. Like I'd
Yeah,
be curious. Like,
yeah,
okay, I'll do this after I
like
figure out what's going on.
it's a show where like you're, it's so it what you start the show and you're like, I don't know if I want to continue watching this. This is really dark, and then
I think you should give
happily
every show a 3 episode trial before you
yes.
decide. Like, within 3 episodes, you
I'm
generally know if it's for
just
you or
saying
not.
for anyone who does like decide on something if they based on the first 10 minutes or something of an episode, if they want to continue watching, at least try either full first episode, if not first 3 episodes, because it's because it definitely gets more into the comedy aspect after that.
Yeah, because I mean, pilot episodes are always weird. They have to do a lot. They
Oh
have to set
yeah.
up all the characters, set up what kind of story you're doing, and then the second episode can be kind of, but and if you watch the first three, you generally get a good
Yeah.
balanced idea of the show you're getting, and if it's for you, you get used to its rhythm. And if you still don't like it after 3 episodes, I quit and I don't feel bad about it. But if I do like it, but I think that's what people should give TV shows, three
Yeah, that
episodes.
makes sense. I think that's about all to talk about this episode. So, is there any final things you'd like to say before I end this episode off?
Um, about the movie or just in general,
No,
or
just in general. Just in general.
I mean, if you want to listen to my podcast, I can
Yeah,
tell you where to do that.
yeah, sure.
It's Men Who Like Movies, and my co-host and I just pick a different movie every week and talk about it with a bunch of really cool guests. And you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Triple M Pod with 3 M's. You can find me on Twitter at just happy to see you, number two, letter C, letter U. We have a Facebook page, Men Who Like Movies. Um, you can pretty much find us anywhere. We're on Instagram, like I already said. Uh, we're wherever you get podcast. It's a good time. Check it out.
Yep. Yeah. Check out the Men Who Like Movies A's pod and thank you so much, Clayton, for coming on.
Oh,
If you're
anytime.
wondering, the reason I do that is I want to give if any guests I have on the chance to say any last things they want to say before I end it off, and not just blindside them by ending off the episode.
Right.
So thank you everyone for listening. If you like this gamma analysis, please give a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or a 5-star rating on Spotify. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the movie, so please let me know those. And also your just your thoughts on our commentary for this movie. And if you'd like to listen to more from me, please subscribe. Many more gamma analysis from me coming, so keep on the lookout. This again is your host, Smash Trivia John, signing off.